I mean, it's hard to say family will be my purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have no idea what purpose in life. Maybe it will be you're gonna drop out of college and start a ministry or something. I don't know.
Join the circus. Who knows?
Like, I don't know. You never know until like you're at that moment of being called completely like that.
Right.
But I'm pretty confident. I think I've found where I'm at. So hey, that's where I'm at.
Hello, and welcome to Listening for Purpose, Our Campus, Our Stories. I'm this season's host, Cam Haggett, and this season we will be talking to people at Valpo about what inspires them and how they discern purpose in their lives. Today my guest is Ethan Palmisano. He is a sophomore meteorology major with a minor in math.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I mean, it's Friday. I work later, but I'm happy to be here. So
yeah, seems like a good day. All right, I'm going to start with a fun little question. So let's see. What is your favorite place on campus, and why is that?
I mean, okay. I feel like I could be basic and talk about the weather center because that's where I am all the time. I'm trying to think if there's like an underrated spot on campus I can think of. Oh man. I think I guess two spots. Probably the weather center. I'm there all the time. It's where like all the meteorology people hang out, and that's kind of the reason I'm at Valpo. I'm really trying to think of a second spot because I know there's one I can think of. I can't picture it right now. I'm just gonna have to say the weather center. I know there's somewhere else I'm probably going to remember like either after this or in the middle of it, but weather center is my answer. I love the weather center. There's like a 4-panel TV thing in the back where you can put on like satellite, you put on all these meteorology things. It's awesome. And then there's a big TV, there's comfy chairs. It's where I do all my work and stuff, so kind of where I'm comfortable.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so you spend a lot of your time there?
Probably an unhealthy amount of time. Last semester, my phone thought that Apple Maps thought that was my home.
Oh.
Yes, I had to tell it
fun.
wasn't. So I think if I had shown that to my parents, or like they would have been mad and said, "Your home is home, not the weather center." So it's fine.
Do you have a bed there? You know, blankets. Do you have like a bed there, blankets, pillows, the whole thing?
I mean, there are comfy chairs, and I definitely could fall asleep if I really tried. I've heard that people have stayed overnight there before.
Wow.
But I wouldn't.
That's
I would
really
not. I'm not that into it. I have been there at 3 a.m. There's been late nights. Being better about it this semester and this year. So we'll see how it goes.
Solid. Okay. So before we get into the meat of our conversation today, I would love for you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. Specifically, where are you at? How did you get here? And where are you going? That can mean in terms of career, relationships, physical, mental, spiritual, anything you want to share with our audience.
Okay. Well, I'm a sophomore meteorology major. In high school, I really fell in love with the subject. It was I was helping be tech for a play, also kind of my job here, but for various technology things. So I was helping do a job for a play, and it was a really slow one. Like my only job was to spotlight a rat at the very beginning for about I think 10 seconds.
A real rat or like a rubber rat?
A rubber rat. It was a remote control rat.
Remote control rat.
Remote control. It was Who's in Bed with the Butler. It was like a 3-act play, and the very beginning it was like there's just this rat, and it like helps cause stuff in the whole play. But it would go across the stage, and one time it fell off during a performance. One time I think it just like stopped moving, so it was just kind of sitting there, and that was my whole job. And then because I was so bored in all the rehearsals and stuff, I was looking into the weather. There was a severe thunderstorm thing that was happening around the same time. I fell in love with that, and then that's gotten me here. Valpo I'd been on multiple college visits here. I went first time I came was computer science. That's what I thought I wanted to do, and then that was not what I wanted to do. I met with one of the professors. He gave me all this lingo. I did not know any of it. I said, maybe I don't want to do this, and then came back from meteorology. I was like, this is the place. It also helped I got a scholarship here, and that was like being sent here. Once I've gotten here, I think I've definitely gotten closer back in spiritual life stuff. Obviously, growing in career is its own thing. I mean, that's the primary reason I'm here, is because I want to grow in like a meteorological world. But like in the spiritual realm, I mean, I've been obviously more involved. I'm peer minister this year, as are you.
Yes.
But last year, I started getting more involved in the church. Back in like junior, senior year of high school, I had a job where I worked weekends all the time. So I basically didn't go to church for like basically months on end. Like I was never really in church. I had like a 30-minute virtual one, but that's not the same. That's not the same as going to church. So this has been a really good time for me to like rejuvenate just religiously and stuff. And this year, especially being a peer minister, it's like you have to think about more about that, which is nice. Just like because once your job is kind of to help other people, but that means you have to know enough to help other people. So that's been a journey and having to learn all that. But and then I think mentally I'm really strong, honestly. I mean, I just feel really not powerful, but as if I'm in my element. I am going. I don't know. I'm feeling good on it. So
yeah, things feel right.
Yeah, I don't really know what's in the future. I've been trying to just select more of a area in meteorology to go towards, but yeah, yes.
That's a solid place to be. Thank you so much. How has your peer ministry experience been so far?
I'll admit it was a big learning curve at first. I definitely talked to you a little about this, but I definitely felt some imposter syndrome early on because it was, I mean, especially like all the things I just said, I have been at, I mean, I missed a bunch of church. I felt like, oh, well, I'm still learning stuff myself. So I have to get on that. And also like one of the things we learned about was we have to be able to like listen and not be a fixer. And I am a big, like, I want to solve my problems. Like I'm in a STEM major. It's all about, here's a problem, find the solution or find what's going to happen. Not just like listening is very different. So it's a big learning curve, but I think I'm starting to get into that now. I think I've kind of like got my footing now. I feel pretty a little more confident. Haven't had anyone at my door, unfortunately, but for an upperclassman dorm. Have you had anyone in your dorm?
No, no one at my door.
No. So yeah, we're both in the same hall.
Yes, Guild Memorial.
It's just gonna. No one come to the door if you have issues.
Yes, you come to the door.
If you have problems, we are peer ministers here to help. But yeah, I feel like I've taken a good footing in that as of now. So.
Yeah, that is amazing. All right, so into business now. In this season of the show, we are diving into the things that inspire us. Each week, our guests are bringing a person to discuss that has shaped the way they think about purpose and vocation. That can be someone you know or someone you've never met. So, Ethan, who have you brought for us to talk about today?
My grandpa on my mom's side. So he's actually he was born in the Netherlands in 1945, and then when he was 6 years old, they immigrated here, and on a boat they got caught in a hurricane, I think. And he still made it. So yeah, his dad was in the Dutch resistance during World War II. So he had like milk trucks where he would like hide supplies and get them across the country. That was really cool. He got a medal from the Prince of Holland. So.
Whoa, that is really cool.
That's great grandpa. Grandpa's the son. He's kind of built a lot of life here for my mom and all that. So
that's amazing. So you've kind of gotten into this a little bit already, but I would love just an overview of this person, your grandpa, and his role in your life.
Yeah, so he's like, how do I put this? I think the big reason he's really influential to me is because he worked hard for years and years. He found a really good job. He was a risk manager, so he went to school. He went to college at like Illinois Wesleyan. I think it's in like Bloomington, Normal, Illinois. Went to college there for like business and got into risk management. And he was like, and she was in charge of millions of dollars for this company and making sure that all worked out. Anyway, that was his career, but it ended up giving him a good financial position, saved up for years and years so that he could retire and we're all good. Because of that has really helped with like my family. That's part of the reason he's like such a big role model for me is because he's been a really influential part of like keeping my family afloat. My dad had ended up with lots of student loans. He has 2 masters, and that was kind of the time where it was that was the time where they would say, go to school. If you get masters, that will pay back with time. And then, in like the 90s and like 2000s, that was kind of realized that wasn't so true. And then you have people who have and it's still a thing now today where people have like huge, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans.
Right.
So that has really helped. He's like helped support us financially and honestly just being a good like grandpa. Yeah. When I was like 3 or 4, him and I would play cars all the time. Just a really great role model. He was still involved in the community. He would help in like there's a Lions Club. That's what it's called. But they would do hearing tests and stuff. He would be involved in our town's like, government and all that. Was just really involved. Still has a huge impact. There's so many other people like at my hometown, family wise, I could talk about too. But him in particular, I'm just thinking about how much he stays involved with um, basically just everything. I guess it's hard to like describe everything he does. He's been a golf coach.
Wow.
I mean, like for many years. He's a huge golfer. He loves
Mhm.
golfing. It's his way of getting out and exercising. But just over his life, he's been a huge role model. It's like, we're going to Grandpa's today, or you're going to Grandpa's after church. He's awesome. I figure he's like probably the best role model I can think of. I mean, obviously my parents are
Right.
on there. Obviously, there's so many people, but he's definitely a big role model, especially because he's retired, but he's still helping do stuff. He's still being influential. Even, like my parents are still involved, but obviously it's harder when you're working a job, when you're you still have to put food on your table and all that.
Right.
But he's retired, but he's still out there being active. So he's a huge role model for me. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. So, what are some of your strongest or your most important memories of your grandpa?
I mean, frankly, I'm bad at remembering anything past the age of like 5 years ago. Honestly, I mean, I talk about the cars thing a little bit because that's just like, you're his guy. That's what my mom would always say. Like, you're his guy. You guys have a good relationship. He like a good. We say like one good memory. I'm struggling because there's like hard to describe any of them really. I mean, he'd always be at my sports games, despite. I mean, he's still older and all that. He's like, I think he's just reached 80 this year. I think it's 1945, 2020. Yeah, just reached 80. Still goes to my events. He was always at my soccer games. Well, for a good amount in high school and when I was younger. Back when I played baseball, he was there. He'd still go to my concerts too. I think one of the best memories I have of him is when he would be at like musicals, because he's not like musicals. He doesn't like music. Well, he likes music, but older music, and that's not really today's musicals.
Right.
So he would still come to musicals like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. We did that once at our local theater, and he still went to those. He'd go to it all, which was really cool. I think that's like a really good memory for me of him, is that he would still go out and support things, even if it was just completely out of his, like, what he enjoyed, because it was for his family, it was for his grandkids, frankly, even for my dad, because that's his son-in-law, but he would still be he still goes to his theater things, because he still goes, my dad still does things in our local theater, but my grandpa still goes to those events, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So, I think it's really cool how your grandpa was like so involved, even when it was stuff that he would maybe rather not go to. He would like for you guys, and not just, his daughter and his grandkids, but even for his son-in-law, he was still so willing to show up and be there.
And I'm sure I'm sure he knows it means something to us. I mean, he's even great with just any kids. I mean, funny story. He used to just like carry. This sounds horrible, but he would just carry candy around and give it to kids. And my mom eventually had to tell him stop doing that, because that's what creepy people do. He just means the best, and he's like,
right.
On my dad's side of the family, we have some like little cousins, little kids, and it's awesome when they come over every once in a while to like Illinois. They live in Ohio, so we don't really see them that often, but they'll come to Illinois sometimes. They'll be at my grandpa's, and he gets you right back to grandpa with grandkids mode. It's awesome, because I mean, I'm sure he misses it. I'm sure he misses having us there as little kids too, but it's awesome. So that's even better memory for me I can think of now. Not I mention it, but there's just so many things I'll probably bring up as we go along.
Yeah, that's really great. So yeah, that's really meaningful. All right, so my next question is, how did your grandpa impact the way that you think about purpose and meaning and fulfillment in your own life?
It's definitely cemented that family is purpose for me. I mean, there's a lot of things that you'll go, like when we come into college, it's you're going for a career, you want to go earn a job with money,
right?
I mean, realistically, because you want to eat and you want to enjoy your life. But he's definitely been a big, like, this is a family man. Even if it wasn't as much when it was my mom. I mean, here he was more busy then, so probably less time for family. But especially now, the big reason I'm motivated and I feel purpose is I want to be able to support my family in the future, my grandkids in the future. I want to be able to randomly take like when I'm older, randomly take my grandkids out to a chocolate place or out for ice cream, or like he would always sneak us candy if he could, and that's just a great relationship to build. It's definitely the reason I have a huge sweet tooth. Definitely, when I think about it. I mean, the M&M jar he'd have in his house all the time. He's still alive, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Okay,
he's
yes.
not dead. He is alive. He still has the M&M jar in his house. Peanut M&Ms now, which is even better, honestly. What was I saying? What was I responding to? I just lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. I was just asking how he has impacted your calling purpose.
Yes.
Meaning.
Yeah, family definitely being the big focus now. It also helps. I'm in a relationship about approaching 2 years in October. But that's like, now I'm a lot more focused on family. I think thinking back on the way he's impacted my life, that's pretty big for family. In all seriousness, like I'm really in awe like what my parents did for me. I feel like my mom always says, "Oh, I didn't do a great job raising you." And I'm like, I feel like you did a pretty good job raising me, to be honest. You see some other people and how they can be really rude, and I'm like, oh, well, I think my mom did a great job.
Right.
I go back, it's just family in general. Grandpa supports that a lot. It's like Grandpa's the foundation. My parents are like backup for me, and I have to keep going with it, I guess, if that makes sense. But I think that's the main thing, is family. Just that's kind of my life goal now. It's less of, I'm really passionate about the things I'm here for, like meteorology, but now the end goal is to build a family, not to just, get a job in weather doing what I love. I want to build a family and do the job I love. So
yeah, that's amazing. So did you have any challenges in the process of like discovering that family was so meaningful to you? Do you foresee challenges in your prioritization of family in the future?
The big challenge for me is, it's like, I'm really passionate about what I'm here for. I love meteorology. I love weather. And I'd love to get a PhD in it. I'd love to go for a doctorate. I'm only a sophomore, granted, but I would love to go that full track. I'm already pretty certain on graduate school. I'd love to go further, but family would conflict directly if I wanted to be on a plan of, 4 to 5 years, or basically coming out of college, engaged, hoping to get married in grad school.
Right.
And starting a family while in grad school or working toward a PhD, I have heard is a horrible idea. I've talked with multiple meteorology professors, people just involved in the career, and they're like, yeah, either I got married and had kids after I got my degree, or I would never have imagined it during, or they just don't want kids. And that's the big hurdle right now I'm struggling with. And I'm pretty sure I will not be getting a PhD because of that, because I would like to build a family, and that's kind of what I'm more focused on. And that's definitely, it'll be tricky if I wanted to go for a doctorate, because it's so much work. It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
I have seen, like in the computer realm, you have gigabytes. And that's like, if you think of a 1 gigabyte app, it's pretty big on your phone. 1,000 gigabytes makes a terabyte, and I've seen PhD research of like 7 terabytes of data recently, and that's a lot. That's a lot of work, years of work, hard work, and might not even get paid that much for it. You get paid to be a PhD student. That's a lot of work, and especially you're not coming out of college or graduate school with a stable job. You are working towards an even higher degree that might not get you the same. You might even not be starting with that good financial situation right away. And I think that's the big issue, is I wouldn't be able to go out of college or out of graduate school. Pause. I don't think a PhD is viable anymore, even though I'd like to. I think if I wasn't in a relationship, I'd probably go for it, but it's changed my like what I'm focused on, and I'm more focused on family now. And I think family is definitely conflicted, but I'm glad that I'd much rather start a family without going for a higher degree, even a master's degree if I had to. Much rather just have a family coming out of school with like a bachelor's or a master's than to wait on family, wait on having kids, and then go to a doctorate. And I think that's a big change that's happened as I've been here.
Absolutely. I think it's really valuable that you're able to acknowledge that if you can't have it all, what comes first in your mind and what comes second. That's really impressive, especially, at the stage that we're at in life. A lot of people don't have that sense of prioritization and priorities that you have.
Yeah, like who knows? Maybe it'll change in the future. Maybe my girlfriend will want to get her own master's degree, and then I'll have a reason to go get a PhD or something. I don't know. But as of now, I'm pretty set on that. I'm just going to get a master's because I like research. You kind of need a master's to get jobs in that. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. All right, we are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Enjoy a casual lunch with Pi Beta Kappa's visiting scholar Terry Odom, PBK scholar Joanne Husting Madden, and William H. Madden Jr., professor of chemistry and current chair of chemistry at Northwestern University, on October 23rd from 12 to 1:30 p.m. in the Helge Center Multipurpose Room. Dr. Odom specializes in nanotechnology and is the founder of the Odom Group, a group focusing on developments in nanotechnology. Bring your questions about the life of a scientist. Dr. Odom will also be giving a lecture later that evening in the Duesenberg Recital Hall at 7 p.m. All are welcome. All right, hi, welcome back, Ethan, and welcome to our camera. We had some technical issues with the first half, but y'all are here now. Yay. All right, so moving on, earlier you were talking about your relationship with your grandpa, how he has impacted your purpose, and the fact that you find family to be a really meaningful element of your life, and it is one of your greatest priorities in the future. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, it does.
All right.
That's correct.
So my next question is, do you perceive your search for purpose and meaning as something that's like settled, kind of a done deal, or is it something that you're still exploring?
It changes over time. I feel more confident in where I am going now, because I mean I talked about it earlier with the whole. I came into college with thought of, you know, I'm here for weather. I'm here for learning about that. And that has changed. So I don't know if that'll happen in the future or something. Some people are really wrong. I don't know. But I do feel more confident now. We're obviously pretty confident from talking about purpose with you now for this. I think I've just thought enough about it. I've talked to enough professors, talked to enough, faculty, just people in the field and where they're at with, starting families and all that. I do feel pretty confident in the decision I'm making. It's a little sad. The only up in the air thing, we left off talking about the PhD thing. That's the only up in the air thing left for me is what if something changes in there? What if, because I mean, ideally, if I'm going to be starting a family, obviously it's with my girlfriend now, and she's basically 1 year behind me.
Okay.
I don't think she wants to get a master's degree or anything like that. She's going for art education. She wants to be an art teacher.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I have a lot of respect for that because, I mean, teacher shortage, I could not deal with high schoolers. I could not. I don't know if she wants to deal with high schoolers her whole life. She's really good with elementary school kids. I'm getting on a little tangent here, but she loves working with elementary school kids. They're awesome. I mean, that's fantastic. But ideally, it would be with her, and she's a year behind. So, I mean, I guess because she's a year behind, it would actually make me her a year ahead if I went to go get a master's degree.
I see.
But again, that'd be really off. The only change I can see happening was if she decides I want to get a master's degree, I'd be like, well, it's only one more year after that for me to get a doctorate, assuming typical, 2-year master, 2-year PhD.
Right.
It'd only be that difference. So that's the only way I could see it changing. Otherwise, I feel pretty confident in where I'm at. Pretty confident in family being. I mean, it's hard to say family will be my purpose in life. Because I have no idea what purpose in life. Maybe it will be you're gonna drop out of college and start a ministry or something. I don't know.
Join the circus. Who knows?
I don't know. You never know until you're at that moment of being called completely like that.
Right.
But I'm pretty confident. I think I've found where I'm at. So hey, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so you talked about, obviously, your grandpa as being really instrumental in your family prioritization and how important family is to you now and in the future. What other people or communities have helped you out as you've been discerning purpose and meaning in your life?
I don't want to talk more on the family members I have, but I feel like they're the only people I have. Oh my gosh. Only people I have that have gotten me there. I know I'm pretty entwined in family, I think. I guess it could be some friends here, where they're at, what they want to do and whatnot. I think I have a few friends that just don't want kids at all. Or at least, well, I'm trying to think. Just a lot of people have different family views than I would. And that's kind of helped strengthen, I think, on family views, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not answering this right. Can you just repeat what you said?
Yes, absolutely. So, what people or communities have been constructive or helpful for you as you've been discerning purpose and meaning in your life?
Yeah, I think definitely other friends, because there's times where I'll see where they're trying to go with their lives, and I'm thinking I couldn't do that. That wouldn't be the answer for me. And there's a friend I have in the meteorology department. She I know she wants to get married eventually, not have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that, and I think about the whole path and how she wants to like really dive really deep, lots of work for a while to get good pay and just kind of be set.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to work really, really, really hard for a few years just to set myself up. I want to kind of spread out over time, even if it doesn't mean I get as much money, because money's not the answer.
Right.
As long as I have enough to feed myself, pay my bills, have a little extra for some luxury, and then some savings, I think I'm fine.
Mm.
That's where I'd want to be. I think friends here, based on like what their life plans are, help me cement my life plan. There's groups at home I'm thinking of. Just over time, just like all, like just friends at any point in time. I mean, friends in high school, friends here. Just seeing how different people want to go about with their life changes how I think about how I want to go about with my life. Seeing how, honestly, also I know that I also kind of look at like how when people get divorced,
Mm-hmm.
how they go, what caused that. And I feel like a lot of it often becomes just the whole, I'm working really hard and I want to work really hard, and then I'm not really with my family as much anymore. And to me, I don't want that. I want a stable marriage. I want to move. I want a stable marriage so I can have like stable family for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously I'm not just like generalizing all of divorces.
Right,
oh my gosh,
yes.
that'd be horrible. But I mean, I know that's also a case. I mean, hey, I'm working really hard, really long hours, and that comes in a disagreement. I want to make sure I have been careful about my job choices. That also is difficult in my field. There is the government side of going to National Weather Service, and that sounds really grueling. But it's also, at times it can be considered the more safe job, if that makes sense. I know it's actually been a struggle recently in the weather world. I know that some of the National Weather Service jobs got removed as of recent, so that's kind of become less secure.
Right.
But that's typically the secure route. But it also sounds to be much less enjoyable. Just less enjoyable, but more secure, and that's a struggle too. So do I want to move forward with a job that is more secure, but less enjoyable, longer hours? I also hear it gets really tough on them. I worked on a research project over the summer. I was on a lot of interviews with them. I was like kind of doing what you were doing, interviewing them with a set of questions, trying to figure things out. But like a lot of them were saying they would work long overnight hours. Some of them saying, I don't, it's hard to see my family because they're working from 10 p.m. to like 6 a.m.
Wow.
And so basically they're getting home when everyone else is leaving, and they're leaving once everyone else is like asleep.
Right.
So you kind of lose a lot of that, or they're sleeping when everyone else gets home.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds scary to me. I'm definitely on a tangent, but that's perfectly fine.
No, it's great.
That's worrying to me, is getting to like miss out on family because of a career like that.
Right.
So I definitely want to be careful. I guess a lot of this talk has been about career versus family, but that's honestly a big struggle in finding your purpose. Because at college, a lot of it's, hey, you're here for your career. You're here for career development. I mean, that's what a lot of the classes are for. I'm in a class that's basically about building resumes, building good cover letters, and that's a really good experience. But again, it kind of shows you the focus of why you're at college. I mean, you want things on your transcript that'll make you more hireable. You want experiences, I don't know, doing research or doing an internship or doing a certain class that's kind of selective and would make people more likely to hire you. So a lot of the college focus ends up being towards your career and your career development, which obviously is the reason at the end of the day we're here. Mm-hmm. But when I'm trying to do that to start a family, it kind of conflicts at times.
Right.
There's the other path in my field, where you can go to kind of a less stable private company realm. You don't know if they'll need you again, because, I mean, if you're thinking about weather forecasts, I mean, you can try to find it through another private company. You can try to find it through Google. How accurate is that? That's a big, I guess, for introduction for if you don't really know. is like for meteorologists, private companies do hire us. They especially like energy companies, or I think some truck companies or like transportation. Energy is a big one because you have to know when your weather pattern will like last a long time. Especially, I think wind energy is like the best example I can think of. You have to know if there's going to be a long period of time where it's really calm winds. There's not enough winds. You're not really getting much wind energy. You might be losing profits as a company for that. That's why they'll hire forecasters, is to know kind of like a risk management, well, I don't know about risk, but it's kind of knowing how much risk you have. There's certain companies along like the tropical coast, the eastern seaboard, or Florida, Louisiana, Texas, along that coastline, the Gulf Coast especially. They'll want to know how will we be seeing more tropical storms or hurricanes will be impacting us over time. And that's another path. But again, you might not need that knowledge very long. You are in a much less stable job. You have much less job security. And that's kind of where it is more of a struggle for me going forward with career versus family. Like, especially even just like traveling around, meteorologists, we don't really, early on, you don't get the luxury of, I want to work in this state, and I'm going to work in this state, and I'm going to be good. Because usually it's like there's a job in Oregon, there's a job in Louisiana, there's a job in Virginia, there might be a job in Michigan, but that's still a big move, and you're not going to be close to your family. Your big family, you might be close to like your specific. This is my family, my very close family, or like wife or kids. If I'm there, I know I'm 18 years old. I'm a little bit maybe dreaming a little bit too soon, but I don't know. I feel like I keep talking about career versus family, but that's kind of the dilemma and purpose for me, is where will I be in a career versus where will I be in my family goals and building that.
Yeah, so I'm almost hearing from you that you have like sort of these dual purposes where you're really passionate about your work and about meteorology and this stuff that you love, but on the other hand, you also really highly value and are passionate about and prioritize family. So it's for you kind of a matter of how those two things can work together and intersect. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's pretty accurate, honestly. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I had to, I would drop my career to be with, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a scenario that would cause me to have to drop a career like that. But I would. I would drop my career goals. I would drop out of college if I really needed to. We'll go work at a kitchen or something. I worked in the kitchen for like 2 years. They just closed, so out of that job now. But hey, I would drop it. I would drop it to build a family if I needed to, if something happened. It just depends. I can't think of a situation. Well, okay. This is sound really bad. The only situation I can think of is girlfriend gets pregnant, you need to support her. I don't know why that would happen. I am waiting till marriage.
Yes, okay.
So I'm not trying to get...
No, you're good.
But like, if that happened, that's the only thing I think
if there was like an emergency of some kind. And you know that for you, if the rubber hits the road, you are picking family over your career.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good
that you know that about yourself. But I do know that, yes.
Right. Yeah, it's good to know that now so that if it ever comes up, you know what you're doing. All right, I have one last question for you as we wrap up. What is one idea or way that you would encourage the people in our Valpo community to challenge the way that they think about purpose and calling?
Go somewhere that you are really far away from people. Because, well, if you have an opportunity to go somewhere far, even if it's like 2 weeks, or in my case, 2 months, that you're far away. And then you could see what it's like, I guess, in the family realm. That's kind of been the topic, but that's what I think of is, I think there's a lot of people out there that want to build a family. This summer, I was on a 2-month internship in Tampa, Florida. So far away, I got so homesick so fast. Pretty quickly, especially after I turned 18 down there.
Your birthday was while you were in Florida?
Yes, okay. Yes, basically right in the middle of the internship. I was fortunate enough that my grandpa, it comes back to him, look at that. He had a ticket to Tampa. He had a ticket to Tampa, just a round trip ticket to Tampa, which is where I was. So he paid for another ticket for my girlfriend and my mom to both come down, visit me for a weekend, for my birthday weekend, which was awesome, fantastic. Got to spend my birthday with family. and we actually got to swim with manatees. That was
Whoa.
yeah, I know. There's like it's Crystal River, Florida, if you're interested. They have this little. You can go on a boat trip. This guy is fantastic, hilarious, great captain and stuff. Got to go snorkeling with some manatees for a little while, and it was awesome. Really cool experience. Melody, my girlfriend, loves manatees, so that was big. That's the reason that we did that. I'm trying to see where I was going with this because I know I got off topic, but yes, family coming down kept me sane at least until the final few weeks of the internship, which kind of got hectic because lots of work. We had a presentation to do. I had to build a poster with the research I did, and we had a cockroach infestation in our apartment.
No.
Fun fact: 1/3 of Tampa residents every year have a cockroach infestation.
I thought you were going to say that 1/3 of Tampa residents are cockroaches.
No. 1/3 get a cockroach infestation every year. Not total, just every year, which is even more frequent.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were unfortunate. There's a fire across the apartment too. Crazy. Everything.
Wow.
Lots of crazy stories. I could go into that. But me being so far away made me really appreciate being close to home. I know I don't want to travel now, which again, I talked about this before in my career. That's difficult because travel is kind of important early on. You kind of don't really get to choose where you work. It's wherever there is a job available. I'm not saying that we aren't, like, meteorologists aren't employed everywhere. We kind of are, but it's difficult to find a job where you want to be because you don't have much experience yet, so you might just have to take what you can get. I think I've talked about meteorology a good amount, but that's not just I'm on TV saying here's the high and low, here's the it's not that. It is that for some people. That's not what I want to do. I want to be more focused on the researching of atmosphere and other, the math and all that. I'm getting off topic and I keep doing this, but that's okay. But it all circles back to I was far away from my family for 2 months. I got to visit. They came for a weekend, which kept me a little bit sane. If I hadn't gone, I would have been going crazy. It would have been really bad. Mentally, it would have been. I mean, I was starting to lose a little bit. I was definitely homesick a few nights. But being far away for even just 2 months was enough for me to be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that again. If I had to, again, to make money to support future, then that's fine. But I don't want to do it again. I think that's kind of my recommendation is, especially if you're struggling with what I'm at, is career versus family. Be far away for like a summer. If you get an opportunity to go on a summer internship, go for it because you will see if you can handle being away from home for that long. Or like studying abroad, I know I won't want to do that, especially because of this experience. That was only 2 months. I couldn't imagine it for 4. Even though it'd be really cool to go study abroad. It'd be really cool to go visit a different country. I mean, I'd love to do that, but I wouldn't like being so far from my family. That's one of the perks I have being here at Valpo. It's an hour away from my house. I can drive home on a weekend if I want to. I have driven home on weekends sometimes. I probably my mom and girlfriend will be here tomorrow to visit me.
Oh, amazing!
Which is they can just drive up if they want to visit me, and that's part of the reason I enjoy being here. But being far away made me appreciate family, and that has definitely strengthened my purpose going forward. I was definitely getting more and more certain on family with time, but going forward and being so far away, being homesick, just if you get the opportunity to go away and you're struggling with a situation that I am, I would suggest to take the opportunity going far away, because that way you will know how much your family really means to you.
Oh.
That's my takeaway.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, Ethan, thank you so much for coming on the show. It has been amazing to hear about your experience and what inspires you. I think it's especially cool how you've used the experiences that you've had not only to figure out what you do want, but also to figure out what you really don't want. Yeah. I think that's such a useful way to think about it. Even in the experiences where you were maybe homesick and maybe didn't love being so far away, you still learned from that and took stuff from that. And now you know more for the future. I think that's really cool.
I definitely don't like cockroaches.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we will see you next week.